How to show to your ex that you have changed, that you are a better version of yourself. Hello, guys, and welcome to Love Advice TV. I'm Coach Alex with Coach Edwin. How are you doing, Coach Edwin?
Very good. Thank you for doing this video with me.
Yeah, for sure. It's so good to have you here again. This is the new studio. We are doing some videos for you, so longer format. If you have any question, if you want us to do a topic that you like, please leave a comment just right below. So this is a very important question because you have done a good job. You're training on yourself. You're just basically doing everything you can to show to your ex that you have changed. And you want to know what are the options, what are the solutions, what are the ideas that we can provide you. I think that first thing first, it has to do and to go with your energy. You know, when we have changed, we are also confident with ourselves. So maybe we can talk a little bit about the idea of being proud of ourselves after a breakup. It's not easy, Coach Adrian.
Absolutely. And welcome to all of you who are also listening to us on our podcast. After a breakup, being able to feel good about yourself, being able to feel like actually you can be happy without your significant other, and having new goals and new projects and things that you're excited about is quite a challenge. And many people are unable to get there. And so they're constantly in a mindset where they're chasing a past relationship, a past life, a past identity that no longer exists. And it creates an imbalance that is very difficult to overcome, actually. And I understand that you want to get back with this person that you love. I understand that you want to rebuild a relationship with this person that you care about deeply. But it's not going to be possible if you are in that state of desperation or despair or depression. And so being able to prove to someone that you love or to an ex that you've changed entails that you have actually evolved. It means that you have actually been able to grow past the disappointment and the initial phase of grief that you experience at the time of a breakup. And I'm thinking about a couple of individuals that I'm coaching at the moment. One young man who is in South Florida, who is going through that process of change. And at the same time, he still needs to communicate with his significant other. He needed to send her some tickets that they had bought together. He went on a cruise, on a birthday cruise with some of his friends, and she was also going to be as part of that cruise, so they needed to see each other. And he was trying to convey that he has evolved and changed, while at the same time going through that process. And it's not always so easy. And mistakes occur because perhaps you're trying to go too fast to get to where you want to go. And so really taking the time to take a step back in order to be able to take a leap forward is something that is necessary when you're trying to convey change to your significant other.
Yeah, I love what you mentioned because usually we have changed, we have grown, we become a better version, but there is a lot of emotions. And every time we try to prove to our ex that we have changed, we also come back with the past in our mind. So we want to prove that we will not do the same mistake, we will not talk the same way. And every time we talk about the past, usually we make our ex just feel again the same negative emotions. So my first advice would be to tell you, don't try to excuse yourself. And don't try to explain the past, because every time you try to make up for the past, your ex will be blocked and will feel again the same kind of energy. So what do you think that a person in this situation should do when they cross their ex and they want to just show that they have changed? Do they talk to their ex with a big smile? Do they just explain what they have done in the last few days to show that they were doing action and they are proactive? What would be your advice, Coach Edwi?
Yeah, so usually the rule of thumb is when you're communicating with your ex after a breakup, don't talk about the past. Don't ask for forgiveness or try to explain away the mistakes that occurred. Don't talk about a future together. And don't talk about your feelings and emotions. No I miss yous, I love yous, any of those things. Instead, you want to be grounded in the present moment and be able to have a pleasant, uplifting conversation with your ex, where you're not trying to seek their approval or validation, where you can really feel comfortable being you, yourself, not walking on eggshells. And so you can, you know, joke around with them, you can tease them even if you'd like, as long as you're not seeking their validation or putting them on a pedestal. Usually you are proving, in essence, you are proving that you have changed and that you have evolved, because your ex does not expect you to behave in that way. They expect you to rehash the past, to beg, to be needy, to try to again talk about the breakup. And they expect to have somewhat of a conflicting dialogue or conversation with you, not one that is light and uplifting. And so, of course, it's very difficult to do that if you're not in the right mindset, if you haven't really done the work to detach and to actually be in a place where you're happy without them. And so, having done the groundwork, then truly being yourself again is going to enable you to be a living, breathing proof of that change. And that's something that we talk about in many of our content videos, and also a process that we really discuss at great length in our coaching sessions with clients, just like this young man that I'm working with at the moment.
I hope that you are taking some notes, guys, about the mistakes. First of all, what you should never do again. And to rebound on what Coach Adrian was saying, it reminded me of a situation where I coach a woman. She was doing an amazing job. Like, she has changed and she has done all the tools that we share in the videos. So she changed the way she dressed, she changed her haircut, she posted online, she reconnected with her friends and family. She also was trying to change her job. And she told me, but Alex, I was doing everything and my ex started to be mad at me because I became the new and best version of myself. So I panicked. And then I told him that I love him. I told him that, yes, I have changed, but it's for him. And that's when she made a little mistakes, because basically this guy was testing her. Your ex will always test you. You want to see, or she wants to see, if you have really changed for yourself. And so she panicked because she was scared to lose him again. So we really want you to emphasize our advice, and you can represent the idea that you have changed for the better and for a longer time. It's very important.
This reminds me of a client, a man that I'm working with.
So you work with men, I work with women usually.
I work with women too. This just reminded me of this man who's dating a beautiful, artistic woman in New York, and they love going out. They love, they're in the music scene and the concert scenes and the festival scenes and all of those things. And after, a short-term relationship, ultimately they broke up and they stay somewhat connected. And he's posted a few things on his social media, and this lady reacted. She was upset. She felt triggered that he was moving on so quickly, that he had changed, in essence, so quickly. And he had been coached so well, and he reacted to that message the right way. He did not immediately validate her. He did not tell her that he just wanted to get back together. He helped this lady see that, she was being overly emotional, and that it was normal and okay for him to go to these certain bars or places that they used to go to together, because that was some of the places that he loves to go to. And a short time later, it must have been 10 days later, they again found themselves in the same club, after this young man had done a lot of work to detach, to be happy without her, to be social, to force her to face the consequences of her choices. And at this club, this young lady pulled him outside and started, kissing him, and they ended up going home together that same night. And she could not resist his change. And the very next day, she then started having second thoughts because he had, in essence, told her that, he wanted to date her again, and he wanted it to be exclusive and serious. And for some reason, she started to then pull away
Mm-hmm.
because perhaps he gave her too much reassurance and put her on a pedestal again. And what he told me, and this is where I was really impressed, is that made him doubt
That she was the one.
that she was the one,
Yeah,
because he was no longer interested in playing games.
it's not. Yeah.
And because he had really changed, he was able to see that in some ways her attitude and her approach was a little bit too erratic and selfish and immature. Because his change was real, he had that strength, that confidence, and that perspective to decide for himself and to choose whether to pursue this relationship or not. And those that have not gone through that process of change the right way are unable to make these types of choices for themselves. You're just going with the flow. You're taking whatever your ex gives you, because in essence, your motivations are still very much linked to just getting their validation. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to share the story, and apologies, it was a little bit longer than it should have been perhaps, but to show what true change looks like and where it leads you to. And so I'm sure that many of the ladies that you coach also
I coach
find
men
themselves.
too. No, that's for fun. So, what I appreciate in your example is that I see almost everyone that I coach going through this step, like what to do if my ex is mad at me, what to do if my ex wants to kiss me, what to do if after that my ex getting some doubts and they don't know what they want. Mm-hmm. This is all the situation that we will see almost every single day. But you also have now in this story with Coach Adrian, the essence of how can you show to your ex that you have changed. So you have to live with purpose. You have to wake up every single day with a goal. You have to take care of your health. You have to go to the gym. You have to do some yoga. You have to journal. So these are all practical actions that you can do right now. And it all ends up into use this breakup to become the best version of yourself. Use this breakup to light up, in a sense, your life. And to make yourself in a position where you know what you want and you know what you don't want. Now your ex will always see. Your ex will always see if you have changed. The example that I always use is that imagine that you dress in red every day. And one day you come and you dress in green. Everyone can see it. It's factual. It will be the same thing the moment you have changed with energy. Because you will stand differently. You will talk differently. You will smile differently. And this is not something that we can fake. On Love Advice TV, we only talk about being the change, not trying to fake it, because the moment your ex tests you, that's when you start to feel scared again. Based on your experience, Coach Adrian, do you have one or two actions that you recommend to the people you coached?
Yes, there's many, many things that you can do. But for me, it always starts with detachment, making sure that your feelings and your emotions and your desire to be with this person does not motivate all of your actions and the way that you communicate with them. Because if that's the case, it's very difficult to, in essence, prove your change or to embody a change that is really motivated simply by, again, getting the validation of this other person. But I think that most of you who follow us, who've watched our videos and listened to our podcasts on a regular basis, understand that. One of the questions that I get asked a lot in coaching sessions is, how can I prove my change to my ex if we're not talking, if we're not in touch? Mm-hmm. And it's one of the questions that I get the most, along with, is there still hope? And it's a very good question. However, usually 9 out of 10 times when someone is asking me that question, they are not focused on actually the process of changing. They're again in the mindset of seeking validation for their change from their significant other. And as I often say, there are two components. There is the process of personal transformation, and there's also the communication strategy, that both things need to be considered. And yes, we will need to rebuild communication with your significant other at some point in order to rebuild a new relationship. But unless and until the foundations have been laid out, when it comes to the process of personal transformation and new habits are in place, and a new sense of confidence and a new sense of well-being really has materialized, it is moot to talk about communication. Eventually, if those things are in place, then yes, we can reconnect with your significant other, even if they have chosen to not respond to previous messages. And there's many different techniques and ways by which we can seek to reconnect with them. But you're doing so from a different place now. You're going to be able to brush it off if they don't respond to you right away. You're going to be able to deal with any test that they throw your way because you have a newfound sense of confidence and an identity that is not tied to getting their validation and approval. Even if you still care for them, and even if you still love them, and even if you still want to rebuild a relationship with them, it's different. And so the way that you communicate with them is completely different as well.
And I love this because you would be in a great energy. And I have the same situation where people will ask me, Alex, how can I show to my ex that I have changed? And it always starts with your energy. Now, I also want to tell you that you should use the social media. You should use the social media, not playing games, but it's great to do nice pictures. It's great to show that you're going to the gym. It's great to show that you're socializing again, because there is always things that we forget or that we are not doing when we are in a relationship. It's always the case, right? So focus on that. Get back on track. Use the social media, even if you are not friends. Just the pictures on WhatsApp, LinkedIn, everything that can help you attract the attention of your ex. And if this is not working because your ex is not looking at your social media, remember that we are not only being distant. There is the moment you can reconnect with your ex. It could be a letter, it could be a text message. That's when we will show to your ex that you have changed. Mm-hmm. But I love to say that the distance previously will make your actions stronger. So you have to not be scared, because there is a lot of ways to show that you have changed. The only one thing that you should be scared, it is that it is not possible to fake the change. You know, It's not possible to show something that is not real. But if you have changed, then we have a lot of tools. We have a lot of, actions that we can provide you. And that's why I really encourage you to click in the description box right below, because we have some private videos only talking to you about actions and tools that we are providing to the people we coached. So if you want to know what to do exactly, click in the description, grab your gift. Okay? But I truly believe that using social media and knowing that you will talk to your ex should be reassuring you that we will do actions. That is very important.
The reality is that even after you reach the goal of getting back together, you will need to continue to prove your change to your significant other. It's not something that just ends. And that's why we talk about laying the right foundations, building new habits, being in the right mindset, learning to put the right actions in place so that this becomes second nature, and it's something that you can continue to build on after you get back together. Because your significant other, if you fall back into the same old bad habits and patterns, or if you do something that triggers them, you're going to end up going through yet another breakup, or they're going to tell you, I knew you did not change, or something along those lines. And I don't want you to go through a 6 months process, do everything right, rebuild a new relationship, and then find yourself having to go through yet another breakup with this person that you love, simply because you took shortcuts and simply because you were seeking their validation. You were trying to prove your change at one particular moment in time and not approaching this as a holistic process that you are both working on together, actually. And so it's important for you to understand that it is a process. It is not the end goal of proving your change does not end just because this person that you love is willing to give you another chance, or just because they say to you that they still love you and they want to make it work.
So guys, we really want to support you. So remember that you can smash the like button if you like this video. You can subscribe on YouTube and on the podcast, because we want to be here with you all the time. And you have a lot of gifts in the description. Just click on it, grab your gift, and you will see that we can really support you. If you want to go further, of course, there is withmyexagain.com/coaching. If you want a private session with Coach Adrian or with me, we are here and we can create a tailored plan for you. So that was the topic that we really wanted to show you, because you can show to your ex that you have changed. Let's change, let's communicate again, and let's use all the tools from the neuroscience for that. So thank you so much for tuning in. Keep fighting the good fight. I'm using your sentence, Coach Adrian. And let me know if you have any question in the comment section.
Yes, absolutely. We're here for you, so don't hesitate. And see you soon for another podcast, for another video.
Take care, guys.